Hi, everybody, and welcome back. If this is your first time joining us, my name is Chris Williams. I am a storyteller and educator here in town. And my friends at Create More Fear Less asked me to create a storytelling series for all of you, and that's what I'm doing. We've been having a lot of fun, or I'll speak for myself. I've been having a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you're having a good time too. So, as always, before we get into the exercise, I like to do kind of a warming up activity. It helps us to center ourselves, to reflect on our day so far, to get in a space to do the exercises, the activity that I have planned for us today. So, as always, all you need is something to write with and something to write on. For me, I just use a pen and a piece of paper. And we're going to be thinking about anything that we're worried about or our anxieties, something that maybe bothered us today, that is still kind of stuck on us. And you can use the piece of paper or whatever you're using, and in a word or a sentence or a picture, symbol, whatever you want, we're going to write those down. And I will share mine out loud. You do not have to share yours out loud with anybody. They're yours to keep. When I say keep, I mean you can actually hold on to them for a while, or you can do what I've been doing, which is create a worry jar to put those worries in, those anxieties in, so that you can take care of business otherwise. So, let me think. Is there anything that I'm worried about today? I'm having a pretty good day. I don't really worry that much in general. But let's see. I am a little worried because I'm an educator, like I said, and school's about to start. I am definitely a little worried about my students, which in turn makes me, I feel a little anxiety. I want to make sure that they get the best education they can get this year. I want to make sure that they're not bored and that they're healthy. And I think it's the responsibility of schools, right? All of us who work with schools, down to like parents. It's really our responsibility to make sure that students have the best education possible, the best school experience possible. So, yeah, I've been having some anxiety about that. So, we'll just call that my job. I have anxiety about my job. Yeah. And I definitely don't want to hold on to that. So, I'm going to put that in the worry jar. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm worried about. No, I think I'm pretty good. So before we get started on the exercises today, I like to do what's called a mood temperature. We're going to take our mood temperature. How are you feeling? You feeling good? You feeling sad? You feeling happy? You frustrated? They're all acceptable. All of those are acceptable. So I think I'm feeling... What is my mood? I think my mood is I'm pretty content. I'm pretty satisfied right now. I'm feeling good. I had something good to eat, and I'm feeling satisfied. So I'm satisfied today. That's a good place to start. Nothing wrong with that. How are you feeling? What's your mood? So I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to get into this, because this is a really good one, especially for those of us who are going to be telling a story in front of people or just talking in front of people. I call this throwing out your anchor. So what is an anchor? In the ship, you throw out an anchor, right? And it stops the ship from drifting all around the water. It centers you. It keeps you where you are. It grounds us, right? And the same is true for those of us who perform or who tell stories. You kind of want to feel grounded. You want to feel grounded to your space. So that's why I call this throwing out your anchor. And I have three techniques I'm going to run us through to help ground us, to help us throw out our anchor when we're getting ready to perform. And it also helps, especially for those of us who get nervous, who get uncomfortable when we know that we're about to have to speak in front of people, who are dealing with our anxiety. I am one of those people. It's going to help us so that we don't get overwhelmed with those feelings and we just drift like a boat in the ocean without an anchor. We're all over the place, right? We don't want any of that. We don't want any of that. Because keep in mind, telling a story, especially a true story about an experience you had, something from your life, that's a very vulnerable position to be in. So hopefully these techniques will help you ground yourself. This one's super simple, and it's just find your power position, right? So pretend like I'm standing. I'm gonna sit, because if I stand up, you won't be able to see me. But if I'm standing and I walk onto the stage, or I walk in front of the classroom, I walk to a microphone, wherever I am, you don't have to start right away. Like, you own this space. That's your space. Find your power position, right? And here's a hint. A power position doesn't really look like this. Even though I find this really comfortable, but I'm closing off, right? I'm closing myself off. My arms are literally folded. I'm actually blocking my power. I'm actually blocking my energy. Same thing when we put our hands in our pockets. We're blocking our energy. We're blocking our power. So find your power position, right? That could be like hands on your hips, which would be an interesting way to tell a story, right? Go ahead. And then I did this, and then I did that. Hands on your hips, just kind of right here, whatever that is, kind of shoulders up, back, out, take up space, don't take up space. Whatever your power position is, maybe your legs are just spread apart a little more. It's whatever makes you feel good, right? That's our power position. Super simple. Next, we want to start thinking of some positive personal affirmations, right? So an affirmation is just a way of giving yourself emotional support, some positive emotional support. You're encouraging yourself. It's like a mantra. It's something that you say to yourself. You don't even have to say it out loud. You can just say it inside of your head. And if you say it enough, you'll start to kind of feel better. So for me, one of my affirmations that I've been using, honestly, since I was probably in high school, and remember, I'm an old man now. When I was in high school, it was, "This too shall pass." I would just tell myself when I would get really scared or anxious and I wouldn't want to do something that involved performing or speaking. I used to be really afraid of speaking in front of people. I would just whisper to myself. I would actually say it out loud. I would say, "This too shall pass. This too shall pass. This too shall pass," which really got me in the mood of, even if it goes horribly, it's not the end of the world. Even if my story goes horribly, even if my speech goes horribly, you are not stuck in that space forever. Time keeps moving, right? And I've found that I learn a lot from my mistakes. I learn a lot from those moments that in the moment I was like, this is the worst. But I look back on it now and I can laugh, or I can just be like, oh my God, I've gotten so much better. I've become so much better than that. So for me, "This too shall pass," it kind of helps me get unstuck in that negative space that I'm in. So think about what your affirmation is going to be. And remember that it's positive self-talk. It's always positive self-talk. Another one that I have heard recently from a coach of mine, it's called cycling. I get on a bike that goes nowhere, and I have a coach, and she tells me to pedal faster, pedal harder, and I'm sweating a lot. But she says repeatedly, "I can, I will, I am. I can, I will, I am." And I really like that. Something about that just spoke to me. And I kind of filled in the spaces myself. I was like, I can do this. I will be okay. I am good. I am great, right? I can do this. I will be okay. I am great. I am good. So for you, if you were going to adopt the I can, I will, I am, what would you put after that? Think about it. Okay. So the last one is called like a meditation or visualization. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of meditations or visualizations, but it's really just kind of we close our eyes and you can either just really get into your breath, right? It's just literally and I'm talking through this, which you wouldn't be doing, right? But this is a video and I'm trying to teach you something. But you're really just closing our eyes and we're just becoming kind of one with our breath. You're really experiencing your breath, because this is something that we all take for granted. We just breathe naturally, right? We don't think about it. Thank goodness we don't think about it. But if we take a step back and we purposely take in air, blow air out, take in air, blow air out. If you do that enough, it just naturally relaxes the body, right? A lot of people like to breathe in through their nose, out through their mouth, whatever works for you. But if you just breathe, you slow down your breathing, you take in deep breaths, you blow air out, your body actually has no choice but to relax. It's an amazing and very helpful way to relax yourself in those times where you feel like you're about to pop or you're experiencing some real anxiety. I like to use meditation and visualization, actually. I like to use meditation techniques, meditation breathing, when I'm done with a show. Because remember, I'm an introvert, right? So I kind of get my energy when I'm away from people, I re-energize. So when I'm done with the show and I've said thank yous and I've talked to people a little bit, I go home and I take about 5 minutes and I just breathe. Another technique that I don't want us to forget about is the visualization. In sports, if you play basketball or if you run track and field, what will happen is people tell you, visualize yourself. See it. See yourself making that basket. See yourself kicking that ball into the goal, right? See yourself running. You're running across the finish line. See yourself jumping as high as you can. Visualize it. So in storytelling, see yourself in front of your audience. See yourself in your power position. You have total control of the space. And you're telling your story. And the audience is receiving your story well. You've told your story, they're listening, and when you're done, they love it. And you had a great time and everybody's applauding. You got a standing ovation, right? You can visualize anything. You can visualize negative stuff or you can visualize positive stuff. So why not be positive? That's what I always say. So, we're getting close to this story. We're getting close to developing and telling our story. I'm getting excited about this. Try all of those. The power position, the personal affirmations, and the meditation and the visualization. I'm really curious to hear some of your affirmations. I wish I could hear them right now. Remember, mine were, this too shall pass, and I can, I will, I am. So you can use those or you can come up with your own. It's totally up to you. Before we go, as always, we're going to revisit our mood. We're going to take kind of a mood temperature. And I'm pretty much where I was at when we started. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling content. I'm feeling happy with where I'm at right now. So where are you at right now? How are you feeling? Did things change? You feeling a little better? Or are you just the same? Okay, thanks again for joining me. I appreciate it as always, and I will see you again. Until then, bye.